thank you all for holding this gathering tonight. I really do appreciate it. And again, I want to thank my colleagues in government, both the mayor, council colleague, the state rep. I don't want to go on and repeat some of the stuff that I spoke about at the public hearing that was held in the council chambers, but the purpose I support the Community Safety Act is just as many of the stories that were told tonight. My family has experienced those stories, have lived those stories, and continue to live those stories. Just as Dr. Reagan spoke of, I'm a white man, but my two sons are African Americans. And they've experienced it through their whole childhood, through adulthood. One is now 28, one is now 22. They continue to be asked and questioned, what are you doing in this community? Where are you coming from? And again, my oldest son, thank God he's no longer a bartender. When he was a bartender, working downtown for 2 years, there were 18 stops from him leaving work late at night to come home. 18 in a 2-year period of stops for that. And always the question, what are you doing? You've been drinking? As many times as he's blown in the breathalyzer. And again, he would always tell them, I'm a bartender. You don't drink on the job. You're a good bartender. You don't drink on the job. I don't drink on the job. I'm happy he's out of that profession, actually, as a parent. The fears I had at night, and when he got that job, telling him, be prepared. This is what's going to happen. And the other stories of our students. I worked at Hope High School before I became a city council person, so I know the stories that the principal from Central. And I always want to leave with this in regards to our children. You can't pick and choose which children you love in the city of Providence. You either have to love all of them or love none of them. There's examples after examples, and I agree with my colleagues, the mayor. I think the body cameras are obviously a tool that we will utilize as a city and will hopefully again come back what they're supposed to come back. I agree with my council colleague, as he spoke of the committee that he's the co-chair of. We need to diversify our police department. It is not to the level of the population that exists here. And it's shameful that we read a story about the state police and not one minority made it through the police academy. That's shameful if that's happening here in our state. That should not exist. There should be a pathway. There should be ways that we can make sure, not lowering the standards, not lowering the rules, but making sure that people can qualify and make it through our academies. There should be assistance in regards to that either the state, city, or state or city working with nonprofits to make sure that we try to diversify our force. We can go back to, 2 years, not this summer, the summer before. I'm sure everyone saw the article about the young man who was pulled over on Dover Avenue for having the air freshener hanging from his window. I ask you, when you wake up tomorrow, walk up and down your street, look at your neighbors. How many have air fresheners that hang from their window who aren't being pulled over by the Providence police? It's shameful again that having air fresheners. I actually had it in my car when that happened. I knew what I was doing right now. And now I don't have that. Also, the example, there was an editorial just this fall by a young lady who was a graduate of Smith College driving while white on the east side. It is incredible that the police admit we are doing this because we have found out that we have pulled over too many African Americans in Mount Hope, so we need to pull you over to lower those statistics. That's it. That's there. I'm not making that up. And the point being, instead of looking at why is that happening, what is leading to that? And there's countless others, and I'll end with this. I think it was just last week. Did not a Boston judge say that African American young men should be fearful and should flee because of what happens in their lives on a daily basis? Again, I support the Community Safety Act. I have been, from 2 years back, countless meetings with DEAR and the other representatives, and will continue to go to any meeting that I can fit into my schedule. 2 points that I want to bring up that I guess I do have conflict, disagreement with the mayor when he said the positions that they're still working towards coming closer to. One is beyond the identification of name, address for juveniles. I ask you all again, when did you ever have your first ID? I got mine when I got my license at 16 years old, and I didn't get my second one until I went to college and got my college ID. It's happened in my community when young men are walking from the neighborhood association to the Vincent Brown Rec. They're 13, 14 years old, and they're asked to prove identification. Yep. You can't if you don't have it. You can't if you don't have it. And like I'm saying, not everyone gets a license at 16. I was fortunate that I did. And then the other thing is with Para. Para is still on the books. Even and I was a young council person when Para was passed. It just became, it was too much weighed down through the bureaucracy that it wasn't able to be as effective as it can be. And I think with the Community Safety Act and the new way that Para will exist, that bureaucracy and that weighing down of it will make it effective in working with the police and the community. Again, I support it. I hope there's a vote before January of 2017. I hope that these issues can be closed and we can finally have an ordinance that is better, not only for our community, not only, but also for the police officers also. Again, someone spoke, if you're doing your job properly, you're not afraid of what's going to come out from that accountability. You're going to be an advocate for that. And I want to preface this again, because people always think, or some people always try to spin things, that's anti-police, that's anti-this. My grandfather was a Providence police officer, so I know what it's like to be in a police family. Thank you again, and I do support it.